So a hearing for the House Select Subcommittee, it devolved into a little bit of chaos after Jim Jordan, as you see here, got into a bit of a back and forth with Dr. Fauci that also brought in James Clyburn, also brought in Maxine Waters, and it turned into a bit of a problem. Let's go to this first clip where Jim Jordan definitely wants his question answered. Now, at the beginning of this, make sure you hear Clyburn jumps first in and says, "Your time has expired." That's where this begins. So previous to this, Jim Jordan has had some time to already speak. Let's listen.
Time has expired. I'll give you one instance of when we can get our liberties back. It's when 90% of the members of the United States Congress get vaccinated.
Well, I want to know if that's what Dr. Fauci is. It 90%?
That's what
Dr. Fauci? Is it 90%? That's what I'd like to know. Give us some objective standards versus when certain things get reached, we might be able to get back to having our liberty. When? What are the numbers?
Well, you're going to see a gradual right now we're at an unacceptably high level. On a daily basis, it's unacceptably high, regardless of who you are. What you're going to see as more and more people get vaccinated, and we get over 3 million people a day, you're going to see the level of infection come down, and gradually there will be more flexibility for doing the things that you're talking about.
Where does it get to? When it comes down, what number do we get our liberties back? Tell me the number. Tell me the number.
Tell me the number. Tell me the number. So I mean, I'm not an infectious disease expert, but I did hear what Dr. Fauci was trying to say, and what many people have been saying. It all depends on how our actions are, what we do as far as getting to that point. So to give you a predictable number, Representative Jordan, to be like on June 12th when we reach this number, well, how do we get to that number? How do we know if we're going to get to that number at that point? Anyway, that's just my thought. Let's continue in the second video where then James Clyburn jumps in further, and then Maxine Waters decides to shut this whole thing down.
When 90% of the members of Congress get vaccinated.
But you're not a doctor, Mr. Clyburn. He is. What is the number?
I can't
Thank you for recognizing me, Mr. Clyburn. Thank you.
Cannot recognize this for 5 minutes.
I'd like my question answered.
I don't want. Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time. Regular order.
No,
just a moment.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want you to answer my question. The American people want Dr. Fauci to answer the question. What does it have to be?
Sir. If you need to respect the chair and shut your mouth.
Don't worry about this. We're going to handle this. And I think Mr. Jordan knows me very well. And he knows full well that we're going to handle this.
Every kid around 7, 8 years old has heard their grandparents say something like that, or maybe their parent, they're like, they're gonna handle it. I don't think I should go to sleep right now. At least that's how I grew up. Anyways, what do you guys have to think about this whole situation?
I actually got so curious about how Clyburn's gonna handle it behind the scenes and how Jim Jordan knows what's gonna happen. That sounds fun or interesting. Like, really? Is there like things that Clyburn could do behind the scenes? That, like, if there's like Democratic strength like that we're not seeing, I'd love to see it.
He was like the Jim Jordan whisperer there. It was a weird thing how Jordan just chilled out. You go, oh, okay, pulled away.
Oh, he's like, oh, damn, I know what happens behind the scenes. I don't want that. Really? Wow, Jesus. And this Jim Jordan, man, he's seen a lot of things behind the scenes that were terrible.
Boy, you're not kidding.
Right. So it was just a pleasure to watch Maxine Waters yell at someone that was not a TYT reporter. Okay, on to the substance, kind of.
Yeah.
I have the number. It's 83.49%. Okay. Now that's a number. I didn't just make up that number. Okay, now you get ready for this. This is from a story we did was it last week or earlier this week? Anyway, where Republicans had this, right-wingers had this theory, and their media research center did an article about it, where they said that 83.49% of the audience of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Marvel Comic Universe series, dropped off when they basically started talking about racism. Okay, that was such a hilariously made up number, right? There's no way 83.49% of any show, any audience of any show would drop off at the same time. It's not a thing that has ever happened in digital media. It's hilariously wrong. But what was funny is how specific it was. Like they made it up on, but so that's why Jim Jordan's looking for a number, because they're used to just making up stuff, right? Like Trump's like, coronavirus is going to magically disappear in like April. April, it is going to magically disappear. Okay, he said last April. So 83.49% of all Americans stop watching when you talk about black people. Okay, and so now in reality, if you're talking about a combination of when is it safe, right? That's basically the question that Jim Jordan's asking. If you're talking about a combination of people who have gotten the vaccine, who have already had coronavirus, and you put in herd immunity on top, there is a point where it gets safe enough. But there's two factors there. Number one, everybody has a different perception of what safe enough is. So for example, kids have a 99.99% chance of recovering from coronavirus. So a lot of people think that's definitely safe enough. And some parents go 0.01% chance. Hell no, I don't think that's safe, right? For my kids. So everybody has a different range for what they think is safe enough. And secondly, especially when you throw herd immunity in there, it is absolutely impossible to pick a specific number of vaccinations and say that's when we're safe. So, and no like reasonable, respectable scientist or doctor would tell you a number like that because of the range. So, and sometimes I get frustrated, honestly, at the Faucis of the world too. Why don't you just say that and be aggressive in saying that? Instead, they let this guy bully him. And then, because especially for the right-wing audience, like we play that and we laugh at Jim Jordan. They'll play that on Fox News and then go, aha, he didn't have a number. Aha, we win. There was no number.
No, that's exactly right. They do look at that and go, hey, and the other thing that is really used, and it was flogged like crazy by Jim Jordan, was the freedom thing, right? When do we get our freedoms back, Dr. Fauci? And then prior to that little clip that we heard, he sort of delineated all the different things and listed all the different freedoms that we've given up as a result of COVID-19. So Cenk's right. I mean, you gotta push back, and yet there's some political realities that Fauci's up against because he knows whatever he says is going to be excerpted and now is going to be on placards everywhere. The number, his words are so perverted, it would seem, by right-wing media that Fauci is such a convenient enemy for them. He has to be very careful. So I kind of understand why he doesn't push back, and that's also just not who he is. I think one of the reasons he's lasted so long is because he doesn't push back, and there are virtues associated with that. But there are also some real deficits. So, if he could have said, because science doesn't work like that, sir, even that would have been a great soundbite to hear, in media, for us to play here, for it to be out there, because science doesn't work that way. I mean, if it had been said emphatically, I would have accepted that as a generic retort to what Jordan was laying down.
Yeah, I feel like he was getting there because right before it devolved further, when Representative Clyburn jumped in again, I did hear Fauci say, I can't, and then I think he was going towards, I can't give you that answer. He's maybe gonna get into why he can't give him that specific answer of the point in time, percentage and all that, whatever the hell that Jordan was looking for there. I feel like maybe he was going there, who knows? You never know, because it got turned around. Now, my last thought on this is also, Cenk, you totally hit the nail on the head from what I was thinking. This could turn into a campaign ad for Jim Jordan. When, as we're looking at it, we're like, hey, well, this guy decided to go in front of Dr. Fauci, make a spectacle of himself, ask a question that honestly is just to rile up some kind of anger that he thinks the American people want to see from him. That's why he threw in the, I want to know this. No, actually, the American people want to know this. Which American people, every time, again, which American people did you speak to? It said, hey, Representative Jordan, make sure you get in front of Dr. Fauci and ask him exactly which point and date and time, the percentage rate I'm gonna get my liberties back. The same people who are talking about their liberties that they've been shunning all mask wearing and social distancing and care for yourself and others for the past year, over a year now. Those same people that already shunned all those things because they got their freedoms. So which one is it? Are people locked down and forced to stay at home, or have you been shunning the rules and being free Americans on your own? You can't have it both ways. The The grievance that they want to keep pushing at people is, you've been keeping us locked down. But at the same time, they want to talk about how strong and powerful they are and how they've been shunning those stupid rules. Which one is it, bro? Which one is it? Because you can't have it both ways, but they keep trying to, because they get away with it from the people who are listening to them enough to buy this. You'll see it in a campaign ad and they'll go, look at the strength of Jim Jordan asking dumbass questions.
Well, yeah, you'll see it in a campaign ad with the words, look at who's ready to speak truth to those who are taking away your freedoms. It's that simple. That's why that rhetoric and the way he delivers it, because he's a fire-breathing dragon of hate, and he delivers it in just the right way for, as Jayar says, for it to be turned around. And if it's not literally in a campaign ad, it running on Fox News Channel will be a campaign ad enough. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think Jayar had a couple of the best moments here when he, first of all, he pointed out, to be fair to Fauci, Jordan was way over time. So Fauci's not even supposed to be answering his questions. He's taking away time from a Democratic congressperson who's supposed to be asking questions next. Also, that shoulder shimmy thing that Jayar did that I can't copy was just, that was something else, okay?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, nah, it got real for a second. And okay, and then finally, look, I ran for Congress, and part of the reason was I would do things that others wouldn't, and maybe that's why I didn't get elected. I don't know. Okay, but if I was in that's the House where I ran for, right? I would have asked Jim Jordan, your colleague when you were a wrestling coach molested dozens of kids, and many of them say you knew, they told you, and you did nothing about it. So can you give me a number? How many kids needed to be molested before you spoke out? Give me a number. We need a number. You want to keep talking, Jim Jordan? Give me a number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you're being unfair.
Yeah, and then he would have cried and cried. Oh, that's unfair. I mean, it wasn't my kids. What do I care, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. And I like that guy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Oh, that's not fair to put it on me just because I knew about it. No, it's actually really fair. So keep talking and let's see how it turns out, okay? Mess around and find out.
Well, he knows that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So, but things being what they are, what Maxine Waters said is about as good as it's gonna get from the Democrats.
Yeah, and then Maxine will do that. The fact that Representative Waters has that type of fire and will come at you and won't care about how it looks and comes off to people who wanna start clutching pearls, they know that as well. So, all that trying to get used.
I mean, just ask Michael Tracy. Okay.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.